Hello and welcome to the Trinity Stamps YouTube channel. My name is Lynn, or LV Handcrafted, across all of the socials, and I am super honored and excited to be guest designing this month. I had the pleasure of getting to choose a couple of goodies from the most recent release at Trinity Stamps, and this stamp set is just amazing. I love the little images of the slice of toast and the toaster, but really, I super love all of the sentiments that you get in this stamp set. You can basically probably find a sentiment that is perfect for anything that you need to celebrate throughout the year. There are the birthday sentiment, that's the one I'm going to be using. You've got retirement, new job, new baby, just some general ones like achievement, success, and you have some really funny ones that are a little bit more punny. So there's another one, bites the crust. The best is yet to crumb. Really awesome stamp set. And I love that it also comes with a coordinating die set. So if you're like me and you don't like to fussy cut, then you have a set of dies that will cut out the two stamped images and the little heart as well. But then in addition to that, there's also a word die that reads a toast to you, and it has a shadow die along with it. So it's really great to have that die set to go along with this. You don't really need a die set for all of the individual sentiments that come on this stamp set, because the font is all caps, and so all of the letters are pretty much the same height. So it's easy enough to actually stamp those onto, if you wanted to just stamp out a or cut out a hand cut up banner, or just use a rectangle die. You could probably easily cut out the sentiments if you needed. And what I'm going to do is make a birthday card, and I'm going to make my own background paper. So what I did off camera was I used my palette scout to actually pick out a color scheme for this card. And I based the color scheme on the fact that I had already colored up the toaster and the toast. So in the palette scout, I tried to find a close match to that green of the toaster. And it just so happened that one of the color combinations that you can use is called the triadic color scheme. And it has the green, close match to my toaster. It has tan brown, which is kind of close to my toast. And the third color in the triadic color scheme is kind of this plummy purple pinkish color, which is really, it's pretty foreign to me. I don't think I've ever crafted with this combination of colors before. So to be honest, I actually felt a little bit uncomfortable with this choice of colors, but I went with it because it's part of my goal to break out of my comfort zone. If I am left to my own devices, every card will be teal because that's my favorite color. And teal and pink, teal and purple are kind of the go-to color combinations that I just rely on because I know it, I'm comfortable with it, I'm familiar with it. But I have so many more colors of solid color cardstock, so many colors of inks, so many colors of alcohol markers. I really feel like I should be exploring more of the rainbow. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted the palette scout, because it really is a tool that helps you to pick colors and use color theory without really having to completely understand the color theory, to pick some color combinations that will look good. And so that's how I arrived at this color palette. It's pretty pretty different for me. And the whole time I'm making this card, I felt a little bit uncomfortable with it, but I really tried to embrace it. Now, this toaster I'm going to modify just a smidge. I'm going to cut a line through the top, not all the way off. I just want to cut a slit through the toaster so that I can tuck my slices of toast inside and have it really look like it's coming out of the toaster. So now that I've got it positioned just about where I'd like it, I'm going to use a little bit of Scotch tape to tape this all together on the back. The only reason why I like doing that is so that I can basically use this as a single piece of ephemera, pretty much. And I don't have to juggle so many separate pieces. Now, I took all of that time to stamp out this lovely background, but I'm actually going to cover a lot of it at the end of the day because I want to create a stage, a little bit of a foundation for me to kind of showcase this cute toaster and the toast popping out of it. And so I decided I'm gonna back that with some white cardstock. And had I thought about this layout a little bit more in advance, I actually would have saved, I could have, I think, saved probably half, at least half of that panel that I stamped out. But that's the beauty of making your own backgrounds, because you don't have to be precious about it, because you can always stamp out another background. And the great thing about it is that you can always customize it to the card that you're making. So if I want to make this card again, but using a different color palette, I can always stamp it out in a different color. And so it's just a bit of white cardstock and a little bit of ink, and you can easily replicate that. And there are so many different sentiments, as I mentioned, so you can always customize it that way too for whatever occasion that you need it for, which I really, really love. It's one of the best things about making your own backgrounds, because you can really customize it to what you need. So I'm going to play around with this layout a little bit. I did die cut out these little scalloped border strips. They are from the Emergency Card Essentials die set. And it's a nice little touch of detail. I love that those die sets both come with so many basic shapes and elements to craft with, because it just gives you a lot of elements that you can use to add these really great little details to your card, and it just helps to make your card all the more special. So again, just for the same reason as what I did with the toast, I just use a bit of Scotch tape to tape my scalloped borders to the back of this white panel. And that way this then becomes a single element that I can move around as I finalize the layout of my card. And the nice thing about that die is it's actually pretty long. So I was able to actually die cut a strip that was longer than what I need, and then I could snip it exactly to the size that I needed it to be. And so now I can begin to actually glue things down. I glued that panel down flat, but I do want to add a little bit of dimension to my focal image. So I'm going to line the back of this with some low profile foam. It's only about 1 millimeter thick, which I like, because then if you wanted, you could layer up even more on top of this. And it's going to be a lot easier to stick within the constraints of what you can put through the US postal system for a single stamp. So it kind of keeps things a little bit, within that 1/4 inch that you have to work with. And it also keeps it a little bit lighter, so it's easier to stay within that 1 ounce limit that you have. So I know that I want to put the word toast across the actual toaster, but I want the complete sentiment to read "Let's Toast." and I wasn't too sure where I wanted to put the word let's. My original thinking was to put it in this upper right hand corner, but I wanted to definitely just explore if there was another spot that made sense for this. And I don't really think there is, so I'm gonna go with that. And this is probably for me the easiest way to get glue onto these little pieces. I'm just using some reverse tweezers, which instead of pushing them to pinch it closed, naturally these tweezers are always closed, and you actually have to pinch to open them or separate the tip. That way you don't have to apply force to actually hold it closed. It's really great for positioning little die cut elements like this. And I like just putting some glue on my hand and tapping it into the glue. And that way I can kind of tap it into the glue, but then also tap some of the glue off so that when I go to put it onto my card, there's not a ton of excess glue on the backs of those letters, because it's really hard to just get like a super fine line of glue coming out of the bottle, even with a nice fine tip bottle like the one that is part of the glue press. And so it's a little bit messy, but I still like the, glue on the hand method. Now here I'm using some 3D glue gel. This is a really thick glue that will hold some dimension. So as I mentioned, one of the reasons why I like to use a low profile foam is so that I can maybe layer up even more on top of it. And this is what I had in mind because I wanted to give a little bit of lift behind the word toast. Now, if you wanted, you could also die cut the word toast. Since there is that shadow layer die, you could die cut that a few extra times and then glue that together. But I really just like using my 3D glue gel because it's easy to squeeze it out and just get it right behind each of those letters. And it's faster to do than die cutting. So here's a final close-up look. My finishing touch are some sparkle spots, which I love the glittery effect that you get. This is in the color watermelon, which I think goes really well with the ink that I chose. I had a lot of fun exploring this new color combination. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And until next time, happy crafting and have a fabulous day. Bye.